This is a short tutorial on the Golden Scythe module of this expansion. Now, what you'll need is any radioactive token. I found this one to be placed on the factory, and any key tokens or any other token you may substitute it with. So in a 4-player game, you will need 2 keys. In a 5-player game, two keys. In a 6 and 7-player game, you will need 3 keys. And in a 1, 2 or 3-player game, you will need only one of this key in the factory. So in this example, let's say we are setting up for a 4-player game. So you need 2 keys on the factory and the radioactive token. Now, a basic thematic background for this module would be that during the Great War of Europe, many innocent lives were lost and their bodies were burnt in the tunnels and their ashes kept away in the factory in this radioactive enclosure. So now, if your leader is able to get to the factory, take the key and get to any tunnel, the spirits of the dead will activate the Golden Scythe for you. And what that will do, I'll come back to it later. So in essence, let's talk about how exactly to get this activated. Now, to get this key from this radioactive enclosure, only your leader can get this key. Now, to get it, the leader has to enter the factory from any adjacent land territory. So the leader, so say for example, it was the Crimea Nordic leader, he cannot enter the factory to get this key from a lake if it had the seaworthy mech deployed. So in essence, you have to enter from any of these 3 territories. Any leader has to enter from only any of these 3 territories to the factory to be able to get the key from this radioactive enclosure. Now, once you are at the factory, you would not get the factory card if you are opening the radioactive enclosure to get the key. You may decide not to get the key and get the factory card instead. Then you would not get the radioactive enclosure. Now, say for example, the Crimean leader decides to get the factory card. Very nice. So it'll just, then on the next move, it has to go away and re-enter through any land territory to get the key. Say for example, he decides to take the key and deliver the key to any tunnel to activate its powers and then go to the factory to take the factory card, then that will be allowed. Okay, so now, say for example, the Crimean faction went to the factory to take the key. So what happens is he won't get the factory card, that's it, his movement ends out here. Now, on a subsequent move action, he is opening the radioactive enclosure, getting the key, and moving away. Now, if he had the speed mech unlocked, say for example, if he had the speed mech unlocked, he yet would not be able to move 2 hexes to a tunnel. The reason being, once you open the radioactive enclosure, you lose all your mech powers. So if you had any of these powers, you lose all of them just for that move out of the factory. So just for this move out of the factory, you would lose all your unlocked mech powers. The reason being, once you open the radioactive enclosure, you become weak due to the radiation exposure. So coming back to where I was, so the leader opens the radioactive enclosure, takes the key and moves away. He can only move 1, so he'll move away 1. And then again on a subsequent move action, he can move here and activate the Golden Scythe. Now, when he's out here, some other faction may come and attack him. And if yellow loses the battle, yellow retreats, and now blue has the key and blue can take it to any tunnel and activate its power. So this is the gist of how the battle works. Now say for example, if the Nordic mech attacked the Crimean leader, so if the Nordic mech attacked the Crimean leader, then Crimea would retreat, and Nordic mech cannot carry this Golden Scythe key. This key can only be carried by a leader. So in this case, the key would stay there, and any of the leader coming here can grab it and take it to a tunnel and activate its power. So now once we know how to activate its power, so say for example, Crimea was successful in getting the key to the tunnel. Now the Crimean player board acts as a supercharged board, as a supercharged board, and you're basically now playing the Golden Scythe. So what that does is, from now onwards, whenever you take a bottom row action, wherever it gives you coins, you will get +1 coin. So in this case, if an upgrade would give you 1 coin normally, now you'd get 2 coins. Out here you don't get any coins, so you would not get any +1 coin. So this deploying a mech would still give you no coins. Say for example, on a later turn you had this enlisted. Now since it gives you coin, you would get +1 coin out here. So yeah, out here you would get 3 coins if you take this action, bottom row action. Similarly out here 4 coins. Now besides that, any top row benefit you get +1 of that. So now your move would become 3. So you can move 3 different units. If you had this upgraded, you could move 4 different units. Similarly out here, instead of getting 2 resources when you trade, you get 3 resources. And if you had the armory built, instead of getting 1 power up the power track, you would get 1 more power. So all the benefits on the top row would be +1. Now some people might say, whoa, that is way out of balance and that is extremely overpowered. So during our playtesting, what we realized was, for a person to actually get to the factory and get to the tunnel with the key, he's practically moving every alternate turns and doing nothing else. That takes some time. At least it takes a lot of effort for him to do that, and play very inefficiently for the starting half of the game, I would say. And then once he gets it, which is a high risk thing, because once Crimea is, say for example, out of that factory with the key, anybody can attack him and he can lose the key. So even if he gets it after all that effort, it's almost halfway through the game, and then how to use the powers that it gives you is another tricky situation. So it is not as simple as it sounds, and it's not as overpowered as it sounds. We've had games where the person getting the Golden Scythe key has won a few times. The person with the Golden Scythe key has not even won a few times. So yes, we find it, the way the rules are right now, we find those to be very balanced. But I would love to hear how it goes for you, and would love to hear any feedback on this. But I hope you guys enjoy this module. Thank you.